All new Pacific Mornings with Will on 531 PI.
It is 12 minutes past 8 o'clock. This is Pacific Mornings on 531 PI. William Terite with you through until 9 a.m. this morning. Would love to hear from you. Pacific Mornings at pmn.co.nz or through our Facebook page 531 PI as well. Now, it is no secret the Sāmoan Citizenship Bill officially passed in Parliament and has been enacted into law, creating a pathway for Samoans born between 1924 and 1948 to reclaim rightfully what they lost. Now, for a bit of context, the bill, which passed unanimously on the 20th of November, seeks to redress the impact of the Citizenship Western Samoa Act 1982, which, of course, revoked the rights of many Samoans to New Zealand citizenship. And eligible Samoans, of course, are now starting to apply for Kiwi citizenship. Joining me for more on this is former National MP and, of course, a leader in this space, Anae. Very good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, William. Thank you for having me. It's great to be back amongst you guys.
Likewise. Hey, look, where are we at, from your understanding, with the Sāmoan Citizenship Bill?
Okay. What happened on the third reading, it just said that... I think the good thing was that we have now know that the government has accepted that an error was made in their judgment 42 years ago. And I've got to say thank you to all the members of Parliament and the members of Parliament and the different parties of Parliament. They have stood together and said, yes, we accept there was an error and something has to be done. For me, yes, I'm wrapped that in my life, 27 years of it, when we breathe life to something that was written off that could never be done, and it has been done. So that itself is a victory. And for our people, it's a huge victory. But there's still more to be done.
Certainly.
Right. And so don't forget, the Privy Council was very clear. It said those born between 24 and 49 and their heirs were all New Zealand citizens as from the 1st of January 49. So the result of the third reading was that they only gave it to the old people. Those born between 24 and 49 and not their heirs. My anger about the thing is it's based on figures that officials has given the National Party, which said this is going to affect 100,000 people. And I want to challenge that because that does not fit in our figures.
Sure.
Our figures say the total of that period is about 15,000 people.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and that's all, not the 100,000. And so what I'm going to sit back and let this drift for a little while just to see where the flow of this is, whether we can prove our point that the panic about mass migration is a load of rubbish. And so we'll see how this is going to go, and then we're going to go back, because the door is still open for us to go back and say we should relook at these things that we raised in the first place.
Certainly.
So just put the public at ease of where we're going from. I was prepared to accept this. One, if we only accept the old people of 24 to 49, then New Zealand, I believe, owes them 50% of the New Zealand pension.
Certainly.
To be paid, as on the proviso live in Samoa.
Yes.
But still have the freedom to travel backwards and forwards.
Yes.
That would have been fantastic for everybody.
I agree.
But that has been rejected, and so now they wouldn't give them the pension. And this is the thing that irks me. How long has someone who the youngest is today 76 going to last to meet the 10-year requirement to live in New Zealand to get their pension?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, totally.
And what they have forgotten is once they get their New Zealand citizenship and their New Zealand passport, they are now New Zealanders. They're going to come and live here. And at that age, do you think they're going to be a drain on the health system and all the public services that we apply to our people? And if you add that up, that's going to be more expensive than 50% of the pension.
That's such a valid point. Such a valid point indeed. Look, do you think there's appetite moving forward from here for more to do? And what I mean by that is we had Winston Peters on just a few weeks ago. He made no secret of the fact that he wants more to be done, which is great to see.
Yes.
But then we also had the National Party on, and they thought that, look, what's done is done. We're happy with the position that's been taken, and ultimately just leave it there.
No way. Winston's right. Look, first of all, I've got to say this. I feel a softening from government towards this. They know they were wrong in the first place. And they should be embarrassed, and I think are. And that's why they've changed their thinking. No, we want to go back. They have to give us the heirs. That is all we can really ask for if we're going to return to the Privy Council decision. And that there's nothing wrong with that. They should be doing that. If we can prove our numbers, and there's a lot of garbage, they've got nothing to hide behind anymore. And if they really think about this thing, we need to bury this once and for all and fix it. We can't go half by. I mean, as I said last night, I'm not prepared to eat the crumbs. I want the whole meal. And that's all we're asking for here. And we've eaten crumbs for too long. And sadly, there's people around me who are quite happy just to have the crumbs.
Yes. Good analogy. Okay. And with all that in mind, I mean, let's be honest though. How much of an uphill battle is this?
Not even a slope. Not even a slope. If the mindset is right, we can get what we want. Right? So the first thing is to change the mindset. And I have to say this. Politics in New Zealand and the thinking in New Zealand has changed. People are now accepting what is right. We are now accepted as one people, one country of many people, all making a contribution. And I think Helen Clark was right when she said in 1982, why are you so concerned about the possibility of 100,000 Samoans coming to New Zealand when tomorrow 14 million Australians can come through that door without anything and live in New Zealand?
That's such a great point. Yeah.
And she was absolutely right. And now there's more than 20 million Australians who can do that. And they still want to block 15,000 Pacific people, Samoans. I mean, it sucks with all due respect.
Sure.
But I think, as I say, they know. And the most important thing for us as Pacific people is no longer take this rubbish from anybody. I'm not prepared to sit around anymore and listen to it. I mean, this way the Samoans and other nations I heard were being treated as far as immigration was concerned. Would you believe this? And I want New Zealanders to know this. 1 hour per day, they opened the immigration office in Samoa. 1 hour. And a lot of people couldn't come to funerals. They expected the people in the islands who live in a village to have links to all the IT and do all this stuff. I can't even do it here. Let those people do it there, yeah? So this was a deliberate block. And therefore that has to change. So I'm happy to say that we've moved in the right direction because now in Samoa we have 8 hours a day.
Yes.
But this is my question. Why does New Zealand immigration treat the Pacific people in such a sad way when there are countries around the world who could arrive into New Zealand, have their passport stamped at the airport with a 3-month visitor's visa? So what I want to do is this. I'm not asking. I am demanding that New Zealand has to give the Pacific people these rights equal to anybody else. Why do you discriminate against them? This can't continue. It can't continue. And if they hide behind the thing they say, overstayers and overstayers and overstayers, let me tell you, I blame immigration policy for overstaying. If you make it difficult for someone to come, they will stay as long as they can before they go back because they know it's going to be hard to come back again, right? If you make it simple for them to come and go, why should they overstay?
Yeah.
So what I want to see is a change where we get a passport stamped at the airport for 3 months, visitor's visa. There's a rider in there. Anybody who breaks the law is not coming back for 3 years.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
But on top of that, if I leave New Zealand this morning, fly to Sydney and come back the afternoon, I'm legitimate.
Yes.
Issue me a new one.
Yeah.
Let's start again.
Yeah.
That type of policy and that type of thinking will eliminate all this rubbish.
Slightly deviating here, but just keen to get your opinion anyway. Do you miss politics? And let me elaborate on that. Do you think you would fit within the current iteration of the National Party?
I learnt the hard way when I went there that I wanted to prove to our Pacific people the National Party is not just for anybody else. We're all equal here, and I want to prove this is where we fit. And I went there, and I was unhappy, and in the end I walked away. And I don't think I'd go back there because I do know there's a change. There's a change of thinking, but I can't forgive the thinking that was going on and the way I was actually treated. So I'm not going back there.
Sure.
Look, I'm going to say this much. Our Pacific people in this country, there's 2 people they owe for what we had just for the win. Winston Peters and David Seymour. I can tell you right now, if Winston and David did not support us at the first reading, this was died there and then. And it would be very difficult for us here to come up again because people could keep on thinking we can kill it, and we can kill it. So I knew that I had Winston and David on my side because they understood that a wrong was done to the Samoan people. And so I kept my mouth shut about it, because I tell you this much: if anything had leaked out, the National Party would have used their coalition agreement and said, "You guys go with us." They thought this was going to die before it even got that far.
Yes.
And that's where we were. So on the night of the first reading, ACT stood up and said, "We're supporting." Winston supported it. They were dead in the dark. And I felt very sorry for the national team, Cameron Brewer, who once worked for me in Parliament, because I know where they are in their thinking, but they were driven to drive a certain line. So I never ever will blame those guys for what they did. I just felt sorry for them, you know. And so that's important for our people to also know. But I think that mindset within the National Party now, new generation saying, we are living in a different world. We are living in a world we've got to be a bit more open-minded about things, and this country is no longer dominated by Pākehā anymore. In the next 10 years, I actually believe the numbers are going to change. The number of ethnic people may just be sitting at 50% or climbing over. When that happens, there is this change, an absolute change. We will see a change of the face of politics. We will see many things change. But then we ourselves, being now the majority people, have to be considerate in our thinking and accept we respect everybody equally.
For sure. Not to make this too political, but I've got you now in the studio, so you can't run away. But, you know, we had Christopher Luxon on throughout the year talking about this bill, pressing him in on it, and of course he's sticking by the line that the National Party had, which was, you know, we weren't supporting it up until second reading when they changed their mind. In your mind, is Luxon a good leader?
Luxon learning. Everybody's learning. There's only one professor in Parliament. His name's Winston Peters. You know, Winston can eat them all up and chew them up and throw their bones out. They can't get close to him. I know that. And one thing I do know is this: as a Foreign Affairs Minister, he's loved. The people in the Pacific look at Winston as big brother, and he cares for us. His heart cares for us. And that's what I look at and say, that we owe Winston Peters our party vote at the next election. Please don't forget that one.
Wow. Okay. Well, look, in terms of, we had Cameron Brewer on last week, and he gave us a wee bit of an update. He understood that people were starting to look to apply for citizenship to New Zealand. What have you heard?
Yes, I believe that it's starting.
Yes.
I'm not too sure how big, but these are things I'm trying to work on at the moment. I now know that there are a number of elderly people in New Zealand. Families are looking after. They are, in fact, overstayers, right? But no longer an overstayer, because now they are New Zealanders. All they've got to do is complete their forms and become New Zealanders. And I'm trying to think how I could set up a system here where we can get some classrooms and some students who can help us and get all these people to come in now, complete their documentations, file here and be legitimate. That's easy to do, and we can do that. In Samoa, I'd like to have the time to go and encourage that same thing, where we get students to get the people to come in, do all their papers for free. You know, we don't want payment here, but we have a service to our people, irrespective of what we do. And it's not called dollars. You know, it's not dollars. It's doing the right thing. That's what it's all about. And for me, I want to take this opportunity, maximize it. And if there's family here, come. If they won't give you the pension, half of it, then come and get something from the here. There's always a trade-off, and this is our trade-off.
Yeah, hilarious. Okay. Well, look, thank you very much for your time this morning. Before we wrap it up, though, quick reflection for you on the year that has been for you, and what are the plans for the holidays?
Well, it's been a great year. I mean, there's some sadness about it. You know, I mean, last night people know that 27 years I breathed life into something that was dead. And then I had people saying, all we did was collect 100,000 names on a petition, right? And to be very bluntly honest, in 2003, I had more people supporting me than now, as far as the committee's concerned.
Sure.
You know, we had marches in Samoa, thousands of people. We've had our marches here with hundreds of people. And that's because I think there was a mindset, this is never going to happen, you know. But when we got it past the first reading, everybody climbed on board
Yes.
and said, "Oh, it's all theirs." They did it all, and Arthur and I just collected 100,000 names. Wonderful. Welcome to my world. Yeah.
Yes, yes. Okay. Oh, no, that's good. And yeah, plans for the holiday?
Well, just a couple. I'm going to hopefully spend about 3 days with my family at a batch we have up north.
Lovely.
And then another 3 days with other friends, and then it's back to the middle. And in between it, I'll be back and forth. I've got an egg farm to operate.
That's right. That's right.
And chickens can't stop laying.
Yes.
I mean, if somebody could give me a key that I can turn them off, life would be good.
That is former National MP Anae, Arthur and I. Thank you very much for your time this year. Like Levi and I have been saying off here, you're perhaps our most consistent guest this year. So thank you very much for your time and also what you've been doing, your advocacy as well for the Samoan Citizenship Bill.
Thank you, guys. Look, it's always my pleasure. I look forward to talking to you guys. I do love that you give me the opportunity to get my views out. But the most important thing, I want you to have a great Christmas and come back safe and well. Don't drink too much.
Yes.
Be like me and be sober all the time. And we'll get together in the new year.
Brilliant.
Thank you very much. And Merry Christmas to everybody out there and a great new year. Please look after yourselves. We want you back next year.
Certainly. Thank you so much. That is Anae, Arthur.